I wouldn't mind seeing a couple Big 12 teams in. I want to see the teams where, from a recruiting level, these conferences have the advantage. NIL budget is way bigger. They have more money poured into these kids.
Right.
They're higher ranked recruits, but I do not want to see these teams in the ACC or the G5 who's gotten dummied by teams in their conferences who aren't worth the shit.
Yeah. Can I just real quick?
Go ahead. I know I went on a little tangent.
No. It's not gonna be very long. We grew up in an era where the participation trophy was started to become a thing when we were younger. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. What is that the move? Do we believe that the participation trophy should be given out to kids just for, being a part of the season? Yes or no? No. So if you're a G5 team and you have one loss, and this is more at JMU than any of these other schools, you have to do something spectacular, a undefeated type of season, in my mind, to make it into the playoffs. It might hurt. It might not be what you want to hear, but the landscape of college football and where we live right now is so much different than it was 5 years ago. We have teams where we have $50 million rosters taking place. All right. Your team, JMU, I love what you guys have been able to do. It's amazing. What a feel-good story that is. To put you in the playoffs is like putting that goat on the stand with the Jurassic Park with the T-Rex that goes, and all of a sudden he gets his ass fucking murdered. Like, that is just the reality of what is going to happen here. But the ACC, there's a whole lot of conversation. I think they are one of the Power 4 teams. You'd like to see one of those teams make it in, most likely be Miami. They've really shit down their leg, especially having 2 massive wins early in the year. But if you're a G5 team and you're upset if you're 11-1 and don't make the playoffs, it's not about you. You have to go 12-0 to show that you can be competitive in this world. Now, if JMU makes it into the playoffs, they play that first game, even if they don't win that game, but they lose it by a field goal, less than a touchdown situation, then I will bend the knee and say, hey, I was wrong on this take. However, you've got to be 12-0 and be dominating these lesser than teams if you think you're going to walk into SEC, Big 10, hell, even the Big 12 country and be able to play competitively against these guys.
Yeah.
When it comes to the SEC, chaos ensuing, all of those things, you said there's 7 teams. Those teams need to be in the playoffs. The Big 10, if it's 10-2 or less, those teams need to be in the playoffs. Those are the 2 best conferences. Anybody else who doesn't sit there and they want to bitch and complain and moan, you had 12 opportunities to show everybody what you could do. All right. Not everyone's going to be treated equally because these conferences are not equal. Onward. I'm with you.
If you go back to the year when, what was it, UCF with Scott Frost when they went undefeated and they still hung a banner.
Yeah, hung a banner. That's
but
cute.
If that team, they went undefeated, I would be screaming, they deserve a shot in the college football playoff.
Absolutely.
Like, they're undefeated. They handled their business. And to the gentleman who says, I just like helmets, I love helmets. And I think JMU has got a great helmet. I just don't, again, if they're a 1 loss, by the way, great reference on Jurassic Park. Like, right there, whoever comes out of the G5, that's going to be our clip. We're Bussin' With The Boys drops a clip, and it's going to be the goat slowly coming out of the ground.
And nothing really happens.
And probably JMU's logo. Because any other team is not worth the shit to be in the college football playoff out of the G5 conferences.
Right. And if you're just putting one in, let's say JMU drops another one, dude, they should not even fucking sniff one. They shouldn't even be on the bracket that says first out. It's like, we got to stop doing that. Just put the 12 best teams in. These are the 12 best teams they deserve to be in. Onward.
People, they're always going to do the first ones out because they like a little rage bait.
Yeah, but first ones out shouldn't even be JMU.
Because we made the NIT bracket and they got Nebraska first one out. Okay, they're trying to get me right.
And arguably, James Madison's 2 hardest games are their final 2 of conference play.
Which is great, and if they mop them, put them in. Yeah. They deserve. They do. I would say they deserve to be, because they got a 2-score loss to Louisville. We're not going to talk about Louisville being average or a 4-loss ACC team. I'm just going to give them a benefit of the doubt and say it was early in the season. They've handled their business and mopped everybody. Go ahead and throw them in for dumbing Washington State and Coastal Carolina.
I disagree. I think they've lost their opportunity with that Louisville loss. Margin for error is that much smaller when you're a G5 team. That's just the reality.
Well, so let me ask you, who are you putting in if Miami finishes 10-2 and Notre Dame finishes 10-2? Who are you putting in the college football playoff?
Well, if I'm not, JMU's going to be out, so they're both going to be in.
I'm just saying, if there's one slot and it comes down to Notre Dame and Miami.
If I had to pick one at this point, it's gonna be Notre Dame. Even though Notre Dame lost to Notre Dame, they're trending in the direction. They're playing better football. They're dominating teams. They're getting hot at the right time. You have to be able to evaluate those things. JMU, G5, that's not a part of the conversation. That's not even a thing. Yeah. They're mopping these other teams. They're smaller schools. They have less money. They have less talented players. It's not a disrespectful thing. It's just the reality. That is just the truth. Notre Dame is playing really good football right now. CJ Carr has developed. If Notre Dame and Miami played tomorrow on a neutral field, I would love to see what FanDuel has to say about this. I bet you Miami is 6.5 point favorites. Or sorry, Notre Dame is 6.5 point favorites.
On neutral field against Miami?
Yeah.
So here's what I'll ask, because Miami just got done beating the shit out of North Carolina State, who North Carolina State beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is number 1 in the ACC right now, or it's them and Virginia.
Was Georgia,
depending on
what is
conference
NC
losses.
State's record? I think he just
5-5. Okay, but hang on. So if we're going to give it recency, you're beating the best team in the ACC in Georgia Tech. NC State then gets absolutely stomped by Miami. Miami beats them 41-7. What if Miami dummies Virginia Tech and dummies Pitt? Pitt is ranked right now.
Pitt's they're not ranked
They
anymore.
won't be anymore.
Yeah, they got dummied by Notre Dame. I mean, the Pitt.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now,
Pitt,
I guess
not ranked.
these are rankings for college football playoff. Those
Notre Dame
rankings
just
have
beat
not
a
come
rank,
out yet.
just mopped the floor with a ranked
But
Pitt
if
team.
say Miami does the same thing to Virginia Tech and Pitt, like 41-7, 41-10, and they're sitting at 10-2, putting up over 120 in their last 3 games. Like talk about
that's
momentum going in.
That's the conversation.
Yeah.
That's the conversation.
'Cause it's gonna be
Notre Dame,
really-
the back half of their schedule, they play USC, correct?
Notre Dame's look great.
They play USC, right?
That's their only ranked win.
That's their only ranked win. No. They beat Pitt as well.
Okay.
So there's 2 ranked wins.
Number 22. What's Pitt's
Well,
record?
hey, rank's ranked, right?
Sure.
Rank is ranked.
What if Georgia Tech?
Who does Notre Dame have? They just mopped Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford.
What if Georgia
Got a whole lot to
Tech
hang your hat on that.
wins
Total
out?
of
They
6
beat
wins,
Georgia. They play would Miami be in the ACC championship game?
I think it would be Georgia Tech and Virginia. That's why Miami's kind of positioned in a spot where they can finish 10-2 with big time wins over the last 3 weeks, and then you'll be staring right at Notre Dame and Miami.
But let's say Georgia Tech wins out, beats Georgia, goes to the ACC championship game, loses to Virginia, and they say like you have that marquee win on your schedule, beating Georgia, and you have Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Miami.
This is not wrong in the chaos.
My brain is getting so fucked up by this conversation right now. If you're Miami and you do not make it to the ACC championship, to me, that's a place where you're like, okay, like we saw where Miami they fizzled, they lost their opportunity there. Notre Dame's kind of done this. Regardless of what Miami does in these next 2 weeks, it goes Notre Dame in my mind. And that is one of the benefits of being independent. You don't have to play a 13th game of the season.
Can we talk about the other controversy surrounding Notre Dame on social media where was it the Pitt coach that basically said, if we lose to Notre Dame, I'm not worried about it. That doesn't affect us in the conference.
Yeah, that was talked about in the locker room quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
That was you had to go do something.
Yes.
That was the only reason why I said Notre Dame's covering this game probably twice.
Yeah.
I think I said Notre Dame will score 40, Pitt will score 10. Less than 10, and I think it was 35-15, so I was 10 points off on that.
And just to go back to what
good.
Mitch is
Pretty
saying
good take.
here, Virginia is currently 9-2. So they beat Virginia Tech, they'll be 10-2.
Okay.
Let's say they go to the ACC championship. Georgia Tech is 11-1 in the ACC championship with a win over Georgia, arguably the best.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's in.
Ohio State's the best
Athens.
team, but arguably like the best team playing in the
They
SEC
play
right
in
now.
Athens too.
They play in Athens.
No, I thought they play in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's a neutral
Yeah,
site.
it's a
you're
neutral site.
right.
It's always a neutral site.
Okay, but let's just say Georgia Tech takes down Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia Tech goes into the ACC championship against a 10-2 Virginia team. Virginia beats Georgia Tech. Now Georgia Tech's 11-2. Virginia is 11-2, and Miami is 10-2. This is potential. Again, I am pro chaos, so I would love the chaos to happen.
Right, and we're having a brainstorm, we're having a think tank right now. My thought in that is, if you're Georgia Tech and you beat Georgia at a neutral site, regardless, it's in Atlanta, so it's like, is it really? I think that game holds the most weight out of everything else that takes place in the ACC. If you lose the ACC championship, the committee has already said we don't hold a lot of value in the ACC. I think if you're Georgia Tech and you're 11-1 and you beat Georgia, you are in. And you can hold that win over Georgia and point out what Georgia just did to Texas, how well they've played this year, who they've had to play and beat. That is clear. Like Georgia Tech here is our ticket to the chocolate factory right there.
Yeah,
And Miami is out.
Miami's out, but Virginia and both Virginia Tech are in.
Not Tech. Virginia.
Oh, my fault. Georgia Tech and Virginia are in because Virginia wins the ACC championship. They're
But
going to
are
be
you
in the-
already in if you win the ACC championship?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's an automatic bid.
yeah, it's an auto bid.
It's the
That's
top-
the chaos right
That's
here.
the chaos.
It's the top 5.
So then Notre Dame,
highest
are they now getting pushed because of those two,
It'd have to be.
right?
That would be nuts.
Notre Dame gets pushed out of the playoff because Georgia Tech and Virginia.
The way I'm talking about the Big Ten, the SEC, even the Big 12's kind of playing itself out, but the way I'm talking about these three conferences and dumbing the ACC and G5, I would be so pissed off at Georgia, at the Bulldogs for losing that game against Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? It's like, because if that chaos happens, it's like, yeah, Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech, like, they got to both be in.
No, yeah.
Georgia Tech beat Georgia.
You keep saying Virginia Tech. You mean Virginia?
Sorry.
You're good. I'm just making sure
Virginia and
the
Georgia
viewer
Tech.
knows.
Virginia and Georgia Tech. They do have to be in because Georgia Tech beat a team with a shitload of momentum right now coming out of the ACC play in Georgia.
And Georgia will be ranked, what, 4? Maybe 3 after what A&M did? Huh?
Georgia's going to beat them by
Bro, rivalries are so weird.
I think so too, JP. And again, that's why I would be so pissed off if Georgia Tech happens to get that win. Happens to get that dub.
Could Georgia miss the playoff if they lose to Georgia Tech, and then Georgia Tech loses the ACC championship, showing that
I
maybe
think
a 2-loss Georgia shouldn't be in the playoff as well?
they could, but I mean, you're going to have what's going to happen is a couple of these 2-loss SEC teams are going to be out, and they'll all have beaten somebody or a common opponent or each other. So it's going to be nothing but, which we love, chaos.